Okay.
I have been fabulously impressed with Myra so far. Just thought I'd let everyone know.
Here she is. She's here.
She actually responded to a text message and gave valuable information in the response. I was like, oh, can't believe it.
Okay, we're going to start, y'all.
Okay, thank you. This is our first permanency hearing. I wrote that Maylene is with her aunt up in the Denton area, like we've seen before. Miss Buckingham is about to start, according to what I got, she's going to start the SMART program in Dale Valley, or she might already be in now.
We'll have to update on that.
Okay.
I got all three.
And Mr. Excuse me, Plemons is in TDCJ, and Mr. Baker is trying to get him here, but has had difficulty with this unit. But that Maylene's doing good. There were some issues about childcare in the Attorney General's office that made me mad that I want to talk about. And that's what I got. So, Miss Vanna, you may begin, please.
Wait, Judge, before she begins, is that Mr. Plemons that just showed up on the phone number?
Oh, it might be. I didn't see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need to go to breakout room real quick, Mr. Baker?
I do, yes.
Okay. Mr. Plemons, you need to go to a breakout room, so you'll get a link to go there. But before you do, raise your right hand. Do you swear for the testimony you're about to give be the truth? Oh, man, he's gone. Okay, forget it. I'll do it when you get back. Go on, Mr. Baker. Okay, Miss Vanna, you may begin, please.
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to give the court a brief update. It sounds like everything's going well. Apparently, there's some updates about mom that we'll receive today. Regarding the DNA testing, Judge, I believe the child was tested. The AG had the date for the child to be tested on July 26th. So just, I believe, last week. And they were scheduling to test Mr. Plemons at the prison. At this time, the department would like to continue everything as is. And I would like to call Mr. Plemons as a witness.
Okay, thank you. Go on, Miss Vanna.
Mr. Plemons, my name's Agata Vanna, and I represent the department in this case. I just have one question for you. Has the Attorney General been out to, I guess, collect a sample for the paternity test?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, thank you. No further questions for Mr. Plemons.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of Mr. Plemons? Ms. Tabitha, you can't answer questions. Got to go through the attorney ad litem. Got to text Miss Wright, and she can ask questions for you if need be, or any of the other lawyers, but you can't ask questions. Mr. Baker, do you have any questions for your client?
No, and I actually didn't have an objection to Miss Vanna's question.
Well, and I'm actually shocked.
When she started calling my client, I came off mute real quick.
Well, but you got to admit the answer was a really good answer.
It was. The AG actually got something done.
I know. Wow. Well, we'll see about that. So that's good. Okay. Any more witnesses, Ms. Vanna?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Ward? Tell us what's up.
I was going to say, it's probably faster if I just tell you what's up. I'm happy to call my client if anybody has questions. But okay, so the SMART program in Austin had originally accepted my client as a condition of her probation. She went there. She was there for maybe 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden they realized what her offense was. Like, they didn't know that when they accepted her, and they said she can't be there. So so her defense attorney was texting me frantic. I'm texting Myra frantic. Myra's responsive, which was amazing, and actually found a couple of potential options, which didn't pan out, but it was still better than anyway. So that was great. And anyway, long story short, my client is now staying, I believe, with her mother. And she did do her OSAR assessment yesterday. I did get the results and sent them to Myra, to which Myra has responded, so I know she's received them. And she is being referred to intensive outpatient, which I believe she begins tomorrow. I think it's crazy, but I think it's actually going to make things easier as long as she's able to stay on track, because now she can actually have visits somewhat regularly and continue to nurture that bond with the baby. So as long as Haley's able to stay on track with intensive outpatient, I think this is actually in a lot of ways going to be for the better. She can't get inpatient because she's been sober for 5 months. And so she's gone through, that's what Myra and I had discussed was, is there any place she can go having been sober for this long? And Myra found 2 potential places and neither of them worked out. But then I just told Haley, just do the OSAR and see if they can find something for you. And they came back saying intensive outpatient. So that's where we're at. She's starting it tomorrow. If the service plan could, of course, be adjusted accordingly. So, you know, since obviously she can't complete the SMART program. But I think, you know, she did do the OSAR and she's going to follow the recommendations as long as she's staying clean. And hopefully we'll get, I'm assuming she's already gotten referrals to therapists and whatnot. But if not, if we could get that going pretty quick, I think she can get up to speed and get going. I think in the previous order, it was okay for visits to be kind of as placement could figure out, but I just want to reiterate that and hopefully we can get pretty regular visits. My client does have a vehicle and she understands that she may need to travel to the Denton area in order to have those visits. You know,
What is that going to do about her probation?
I think it's going to be okay because it wasn't any fault of her own. Her defense attorney seems to think it's okay. Haley, you can unmute and answer that question if you know.
I spoke to my probation officer yesterday, and my criminal attorney yesterday, and due to SMART releasing me in terms of my probation, they talked to the prosecutor. The prosecutor is okay with TIOP through the right steps, which I start tomorrow. I will also be doing drug court through Burnett County. And they said that will be fine. There is still negotiations about whether or not I'm going to have to wear an ankle bracelet or not, but that is still up in the air. But I do meet with my probation officer regularly. Drug court will be bi-weekly where I go do a drug test, do a little bit of therapy in the court office, and then my IOP is starting tomorrow 3 times a week for 3 hours every time. So they are okay with all of those terms as of right now, just as long as I stay clean and sober and continue my services.
I did hear of a new place over the weekend in San Antonio, Adult and Teen Challenge of Texas. It's a place that moms and then I don't know if it's moms and children together or moms and eventually children. But it's a new place, and I know that there's that Volunteers of America place in San Antonio also. So, I mean,
one of the issues, it's good and bad, is that Haley has health insurance, and when they have health insurance, they don't get grants. They have to go through their insurance, which is why she was going to go to the place in Wimberley, which is an excellent inpatient, right. But I think that's what ruled out the other 2 options. It's really hard if you've been sober for 5 months to get a place that's going to take you inpatient.
Does anybody know Ariel Sebesta?
She's placement on the next case.
Okay. Well, she just popped in the waiting room. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of darn if you have insurance, darn if you don't. I mean, you know, that's
right.
Great. Well, that's
right.
But it sounds like drug court and OP, those are all, that's a good plan. And I know that drug court will stay on her and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, good. Okay, thank you, Ms. Ward. Mr. Baker, what's up?
I don't really need anything. I did forget I do need to ask my client something that I forgot about the first time around. So, Mr. Plemons, has anything changed with the status of your incarceration, like parole or parole dates or anything like that? Where do you stand with all that?
I see him again next year.
Okay.
I've applied for Wyndham College courses and for vocational courses, so I might be apt to change units sometime soon. But it's kind of iffy, like nothing's ever known with these people.
I understand. Hey, in the event that you do get notice that you're changing units, please shoot a letter to my office with your new unit and address and all that. Just the name of the unit will suffice because I can
Yes,
look it
sir.
up there. Please
I
tell.
will. I have certificates to send you to. So.
Yes, well, that's my next question. Please tell the court what classes you've completed and what certificates you have to send me, what certificates you've already sent me, and other things you're working on.
At this point in time, I've completed the Bridges to Life program, which is like a program that reflects on your past history and your offenses, and it shows you both sides of the story, like how your actions affect not only you, but the victim and the victim's family, whether it be you stole something, whether it be you hit somebody, whether it be etc. But
Right.
I sent that certificate to you, and I sent the Kingdom Manhood certificate, which teaches you about how to be a godly father, how to protect not only your family, but yourself from like the devil's advocates, and it shows you how God wants you to lead your family, how God wants a man, not only if you start leading your family, if you start following God, your family will start following you, and therefore your whole family's following God. And then I just completed a in-male anger management course, which I got a certificate yesterday for. And
Okay.
I'm working on CASA, which is Christians Against Substance Abuse, which I'm on my ninth week of doing that, and it's a 12-week program.
Is it similar to like Alcoholics, Narcotics Anonymous?
Yeah, it's Christians Against Substance Abuse, so it's basically you're working the 12 steps, but it's more religious based. It's more Christian based.
And I assume when you receive a completion certificate for that, you'll be forwarding that to me as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else that you need to report to the court?
My mom, she sent you the certificate, correct?
Yes, I've got it, and I forwarded it to the caseworker.
Okay. That's it.
Right. No further questions.
Anybody have any questions of Mr. Plemons? No? Okay, thank you. Mr. Plemons, were you a religious person before you went to TDCJ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. When do you see the parole people next? You said next year. Do you have an estimated date?
June, I think it's June 16th or June 7th, one of the two.
So a year, basically?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your offense? Is it ag assault? Did I make that up?
No, you didn't make that up. It's aggravated assault, and I have evading in a motor vehicle and theft of property.
Okay. What was your sentence?
8 years.
8?
8 years, yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been there?
I have 2 done on it.
2. Is it I don't do criminal stuff anymore. Is it one of those you have to do a certain amount of?
That's what's been confusing about this whole thing, is because I thought it was going to be half my time, and before I even seen parole, but they're letting me see parole every year, so they're treating it, I don't know if you know 3G, which is just like aggravated, but you see parole every year and sometimes before a year.
Okay,
And
well,
right.
That's good news. We'll just be quiet about it then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Judge's projected release without parole is 2029.
Okay, I had that written down, but I didn't know, what was going on between now and then. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Plemons. Okay, let's see. Ms. Gilson, do you need anything? You're muted. Okay. Miss Tabitha, did you have anything you'd like to add? Your placement from Maylene?
No, I just wanted to mention about her DNA. We did have it scheduled through the Attorney General's office, but the place where we were supposed to go is closed. They're relocating, so we actually have the appointment scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay. Did you get the deal done with the AG on the childcare reimbursement and all that mess?
I did. Unfortunately, I am not going to get it back due to a loan that I took out when I was in college in 2008 that I completely forgot about. And apparently they are keeping that money. The state is keeping it.
Yeah, I think you're the first time I've ever heard that through a CPS case. No, I mean, I don't remember hearing that, Ms. Milloway. And I think
It's happened before one other time that I can remember. I can't remember what the situation was, but they owed, I think they owed money on their taxes or something. And so they kept it for that.
So let's see what I previously ordered about that. All that I'd show that I'd order was CPS provide childcare. Was it, Miss Wright, do you know if it was some sort of reimbursement thing to Miss Tabitha?
Yes.
Help me.
Yes, it took a while to get the child care payments going, so it was what she had already paid out of pocket.
Okay, so is the department paying for the child care now?
I believe it started a while back, yes.
Miss, how much money were you out?
I'll have to look at the receipts. The payment that CPS gave was somewhere in the 800s that I'm not getting back, the reimbursement, but I believe it was one payment short because there was a little bit of an overlap from when CPS took it over to when I made one more payment. So I'd have to look at the receipts. I don't know exactly what it is right now.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
There was an option I know that the daycare told me that they could do where if CPS paid them and then they would reimburse me what I've already paid. When I went over this with Yolanda in the beginning, she was pretty adamant about it being me that needed to get the reimbursement. So I don't know if that is an option. I'm not sure how to move forward from that. There is one payment still though that hasn't been reimbursed.
To you?
At all, to me or to the daycare. It was the very last payment. I believe it was like the April 1st payment or somewhere around. Then I have the receipts somewhere. I'd have to look through my emails to get them.
Okay.
So can we just get that one, Judge, reimbursed to the daycare and then they can reimburse her?
Has Maylene been at the same place the whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
Tabitha, when you find that receipt, will you send it over to Myra?
Yes, ma'am. I can send I can forward all of the paperwork over, all of the previous receipts.
So I don't get confused. If
Okay.
you'll just send me the one
Okay.
one that still hasn't been reimbursed.
Okay.
Okay, CPS to reimburse child care facility by 9/1/23 for delinquent amount due. Okay. Okay, Ms. Wright, what do you need today? Sounds like everything's going really good.
Everything's going good, Judge. We got our travel order done and Maylene's going to be going on a trip in November. We're excited about that, but everything's going good.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I saw it. Yeah, that's sad. Poor thing. Okay, does anybody need anything else? Any particular orders today? Okay, well, I'm gonna say everything else continue other than the reimbursement thing we just spoke about. Miss Buckingham and Mr. Plemons, y'all keep up the good work. Mr. Plemons, I appreciate everything you're doing. And Miss Buckingham, seemed like you worked hard to get around that SMART program, which is sounded like a big mess, but that's good. You know, y'all have a service plan. You got to comply. Your parental rights to be subject to termination. Our next hearing is a second permanency hearing. It's on 11/7. And do y'all want to appear? Anybody have any opposition to Zoom? No.
With Zoom.
Okay.
Can I get clarification? Is the service plan modified since my client is not in the SMART program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what's the date of the next hearing again?
11/7.
Got it.
That's when we'll be on our vacation.
That's okay.
Okay.
Ms. Gills, Casa, Ms. Wright will check in with you and,
Okay.
we'll talk bad about you while you're gone.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a great time to go. Golly, I wouldn't want to be there right now for all the money in the world, but man, that'll be a fabulous. Y'all are brave to take the little one there too.
Yes, but it's an opportunity I did not want to pass up. So
A lot of my foster kids get to go there and I'm like, what about me? What about my grandkid? I can't afford to go there. So anyway, but y'all have a big time.
thank you.
And Miss Buckingham, do well in drug court. They'll stay on you. I know it's a good thing. Okay. Well, everybody be in recess. We'll see some of y'all on November 7th. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Yes, sir, Mr. Plemons. Hey, be sure and thank them for letting you come, okay?
All right, thank you. Did she
Thank
say where
you.
she was going for vacation?
Disneyland, Disney World, one of those places. Disney somewhere.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I know. But we're jealous. I wish you could remember it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon enough.
Okay, Miss Windows filling in for Miss Dowdle, and let's see, everybody else is here. Let me see. Miss White is with you, right, Miss Lang? Yes, okay. Okay, it's a status hearing. I read that Coley is with Miss White's friend in Burnett area. Mr. Champlin did a hair strand with results back. Last I knew that Miss White was still needing to take a hair strand, or maybe, the results weren't back by the time the report came in from Miss Mystic. Coley's doing well. The parents, according to the report, are living with the maternal grandmother who are helping the parents, and that's the notes I have. So, Miss Vanna, you may begin, please.
Thank you, Judge. So there have been a few changes since the report was filed to update the court. The parents are no longer together, and therefore we would ask the court to modify the service plan to remove couples therapy because they were discharged by their couples therapist. So we'd like to remove that from the family plan, but to add individual therapy for the parents. We would like to update the court. It was ordered that an expedited home study be done on a paternal grandfather and step grandmother at the last hearing, Judge. However, the grandfather and grandmother have declined placement and the home study, so that was not complete. I guess they were unable to care for the child. We would ask the court to make the service plans filed with the court, an order of the court, along with the visitation plan. So as far as I know, the parents have been very cooperative with the department, and we're asking that they continue cooperating and working their services.
Okay, thank you, Miss Vanna. Miss Lang, what do y'all need?
So, just as a clarification, my client's already in individual therapy. She is seeing Tina Nunley, and in the family group conference, it was written to have either couples therapy or co-parenting. And I don't know there's a harm in co-parenting. I don't know who would do that. Rita Pickering was going to do the couples counseling. So I don't know that we want that to fall off the radar necessarily. My client, is not opposed to Blaine knowing the child and wanting to have a relationship with the child. And they're very young. They need as many skills as they can get to work together for that. So a couple of other things, mom is providing care items. She's negotiating with Ariel to figure out what's needed on a weekly basis. Mother has a job at the H-E-B bakery. She started that about 3 days ago. She makes $16 an hour. She's been informed she needs to let Jess know that, get a copy of her pay stubs. Her hours are 1 to 9 on a part-time basis now. That's the Marble Falls. Her mother actually also works there as well, Jennifer Schultz, and she has been there about 8 months. And her sister, I think, works there as well. We want to make sure that it's in the court record for her to have virtual visits. I went back and read y'all, and typically we put that in there, and I didn't see it. But Judge, if we can just make sure that they're approved, as all the other parties agree, the placement has been letting Brittany see, say hi or whatever. I think she's on the screen some whenever they talk. They have I think, a very good relationship. We do want to talk about increasing those visits. Right now, we're at only 2 hours a week. And this is a little baby, and mom had a lot of time with her, and she has some flexibility in her schedule, only going to work from 1 till 9. So if the ad litems in the department could consider increasing that, and also considering letting Ariel supervise. I don't know that there's a relationship problems, just want to put that out there for everyone to think through and work on. The OSAR on June 15th said there was no further intervention needed for the drug or alcohol misuse. She missed her mental health assessment. Went to the wrong location and for the assessment, but she did get that rescheduled today, Jess. It's going to be August 8th at 9:30. And we have the address and phone number for where she's supposed to go for that. Her hair strand was done the week of July 17th. We don't have those results back. Her tickets with Burnett County are being paid on a payment plan, although there are still active warrants out on both of those. But she met with the magistrate and has been told that if she makes $50 a month payments, that they won't pick her up on those. She does have a valid current license. We do not want a home. I think we'd asked for a home study for LaTanya as Mr. Champlin's mom. We don't really see a need for that. She's living with her mother and father over in the Bertram area right now, but she's actively looking for housing on her own. And that's just a bridge too far. She did talk to Pat Hatch already at the Crisis Network, but we're going to keep working on that. An important thing that parties need to be aware of is that Brittany is pregnant. She was, it's the alleged father is a gentleman with the first name of Marcel. I don't know. She doesn't know for sure, but that's our guess. And that the baby would have been conceived on May 22nd prior to the removal. The due date is February 26th. She has gone to the pregnancy center and has initiated prenatal care and is going to be following up with the same doctor she saw for choline. And she's started as many classes as she can at the pregnancy center in addition to the therapy she's going to be getting with Tina Nunley. So that's why she had to leave. She left a drug test one day. They asked her to drink a lot of water and she got nauseous. And so she left to go eat and didn't let them know. And then she returned and they wouldn't let her test. So she understands she can't leave anymore. And that explains what went on there. And that's pretty much all we have for y'all today.
Okay. Miss Mystic, her mom's hair strand results back yet?
No, ma'am. I'll check later on today, though.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Potts, what do you have for Mr. Champlin?
Judge, he's doing really good. He's got a job that he's currently working at. It requires a lot of travel. It's in the construction business, so he's also going to try to get a night job stocking at HEB, and he's working with Miss Mystic on his services and everything else he needs to do. So
And he's had that job for a while, hadn't he?
yes, Your Honor, the foundation repair job, but he's just been trying to get more of them in the queue to be able to do more of those jobs. But he's gonna need both in order to have the consistency he wants.
Okay, Ms. Gilson, anything you need? No? Okay. Miss Wingo for Miss Dow, you said everything's good with Coley?
Yes, Angela said that there were no issues with the placement, that everything seemed to be going well for Coley. So as long as, I guess the parents and everybody are getting their visits as they're supposed to.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to approve the plan and I'll delete the couples therapy and add individual therapy for the parents. Let's regroup on co-parenting, maybe at a second permanency hearing, first permanency hearing. I don't want to load everybody up right now, and let's, this then splitting up is kind of a new thing. So let's kind of see where we're at and then deal with it later. Miss Vanna.
I just wanted to clarify one thing regarding mom. Is she seeing Tina Nunley just for the protective parenting or individual counseling as well?
The service plan calls for it to be both.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out.
Okay, I'm gonna say parents can visit virtually and as previously ordered, as agreed by CPS and Enlightened, and those visits can increase. Probably need to wait to get mom's hair strand test results back. But, you know, as long as Miss Ariel and everybody, the Enlightens and CPS can work something out, y'all can make a plan for, Mr. Champlin and Miss White. Everybody get out their pens and I'll give y'all our court dates. On pursuant to the scheduling order, our first permanency hearing is 11/7. Our second one is 2/6. Our final hearing, if we get that far, is 5/7/24, and our dismissal date is 6/3/24. Parents, y'all have service plans. You have to comply with your service plan or your parental rights could be subject to termination. I tell everybody that at every hearing all the time. So, Ms. Lang, what do you need?
Just to everybody to know that we did acknowledge marijuana use, so in the hair strand, and so we've not had any dilutes on her drug testing, and just that one hiccup for her walking away that day. So just contemplate that. I don't want to have to go through a bunch of gnarly stuff if she has a hair strand with stuff, you know, things that are not going to be expected. So.
Well, the hair strand will go back 3 months prior to the case.
It'll show meth. It should show meth in the 3 months past, but no current drug testing. So it has shown meth.
Okay, do y'all agree that the hearings can be held via Zoom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody need anything else? No? Okay, well, we will be in recess for the day. Ms. Vanna, I'll be, text me when I need to be looking at my email for your stuff, and we'll see y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in recess. Good luck, y'all.
Thank you, Judge.